That's very nice of you. Alright, guys, so let's recap what happened last time.
We're gonna some dank swag.
You guys did get some dank swag, but we're gonna kind of recap the events that have happened at the last 2 sessions. Because previously we had talked about some of the events that were transpiring in the town, the things that you had left to handle still, and I still feel like it's important to kind of catch up, so everybody here has a pretty good idea of what you're going to be facing this session, next session, so on and so forth.
Yeah. You want me to start off?
Go for it.
Okay. So last time, last 2 sessions, Sakata and Jerrod just came back from Alakir's refurbished shop, which is now a sex shop.
Okay.
Or
Tome.
Well, which is brothel,
Shining
but not a
Tome.
sex shop.
It's neither of those. It's
No, they're just progressive.
It's an enchantress that likes to party on the weekend.
That's right. It's an enchanter's shop.
And I believe Jerrod was the one who found out that his ring was a ring of sustenance.
Sustenance.
Yeah. Sustenance. There you go. Sorry,
Yes.
I keep getting confused with that word. Found out he had a ring of sustenance, and then Sakata asked if his the enchant on Apathy's razor could be taken off and applied with something different, and he found out that wasn't capable. He wasn't capable of doing that. He then stayed the night at the enchantress shop to have a good time.
There wasn't a lot of sleeping, if you know what I mean.
Yes. But yeah, he stayed the night and continued with his duties. And Jerrod then went back to the tavern. After that, Balthar met up with Kiara, correct?
Kiana,
Sorry.
Kiana
met
Green.
up with he met Kiana and informed her and Tercion of essentially everything he was made aware of from when he met them.
Yeah, because he's a narc.
So essentially what was taken out of the whole conversation was establishing a better reputation overall with the Flurry. Having them try to put themselves back into a better light, not seen as just a bunch of
Assholes.
fuck ups in Cauldron.
Okay.
And having some transparency when it comes to actually getting information to and from each other in regards to Tercion and the Flurry, so there's not so much surprise when things go on. We have also been informed, well, at least I've been informed, that there's still an issue with missing people in the lower section of Cauldron. If you can you take me to the map? I keep forgetting the names of the areas.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds and I can move you there.
Yeah.
Should be up now.
Okay. So, he was saying that there was still issues going on in precious things. What was it? It was in the Ash Avenue. There was still disappearances, and then to kind of get some more feedback on the dead bodies that were being found. There was a coroner on Middle Sword Street who could possibly give us more information as to the kind of creatures that have been attacking the people in Ash Avenue. On top of that, it was kind of acknowledged that there's essentially a battle happening on 2 fronts, inside and outside of Cauldron. And in order for there to be any real stability, we have to kind of win We have to kind of win one side of the battle to focus on the other. After Balthar left the guardhouse, Klaus and Horam were still at the tavern, but I believe at that point you guys had just went to bed for the evening, correct? And it wasn't until the next day when you guys were having breakfast Sakata came back in the morning and walking naked through the town. Griffin,
Not entirely naked.
I had my champion.
well, he had his belt on, but I mean, for the most part, he was naked. As he walked into the tavern,
I disgraced many
Griffin
people.
was, I guess, appalled at the way he was walking in, so he got him cleaned up and reclothed. And from there,
Yeah, because apparently you don't want to see your hero freeballing it.
yeah. From there,
Hot shot.
we ended up finding out there was another set of messages that were dropped off at Griffin's.
Yes.
One addressed to each of us.
Correct.
At that point, though, I mean, I think I talked to Klaus. Oh, no, I was going to inform Klaus about some of the stuff that I had talked about, but we had all went up to the room to help them out.
And then it was Christmas, and nobody had anything else to talk about. But how cruel it was.
Yeah, for the most part. Klaus essentially spent the early part of his morning identifying items for the rest of us. But we essentially ended off kind of on trying to get some stuff addressed before we figure out what we're going to do.
Okay. Do you have any idea what things that you'll be hunting down next? Do you feel like you'll be going immediately out for questing? Are there things that you personally need to tackle? What's going to happen next in Cauldron for my players?
I mean, essentially, there's still the issue of missing people. That's still on the rise, and the fact that it hasn't been addressed yet is still an issue overall.
Okay, alright, so I'm going to hop away from Ronald for a brief moment. Anybody else chime in?
I need to go buy another weapon. That isn't just my scythe.
Okay.
That is something that I've been meaning to do. This new armor means that I don't have to spend money on armor. I can now spend it on all of it on a sword.
You can, in fact. My curiosities, though, what do you guys feel outside of Ronald's character, Balthar? How do you guys feel out of game about Balthar speaking with Tercion?
Out of game? I feel like it was necessary because he's a ranger.
Because in game, you guys don't know. You don't know what his alignment.
Well,
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
don't
that he
know-
was talking to
yeah.
them, but I saw him walking.
We don't know he's a two-faced snitch yet.
I was the only one that
Who's talking to your brother?
Will, change your mics.
Yeah, edit your mic. It moved to your webcam.
What the fuck?
Yes, my brother, whom I love and adore.
Yeah, the one who
I
you're on.
don't-
Is that better?
I don't
Yeah,
need
it's
him,
lots better.
I don't need him keeping track on me. I'm my own man.
He's his own man.
Watch, there's gonna be a time where you fall back into another slot port and be like, "Oh God, Tercion, help!"
No, that's why I got you retards. I mean,
not
intrepid
going into-
adventurers.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to a frog dimension for you, buddy. You're a friend,
That's
but you'll come out in 10 years. You'll be fine.
Aw.
We'll wait for you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wait.
I'll wait for you. All right. So we hear that Jerrod believes that he's some kind of two-faced snitch. Horam, you kind of play like middle of the road a lot.
Yeah, that's basically where I sit on this one too. I'm not happy that he went behind our back to go talk to Tercion without telling us anything about it, and I know he's not going to confront us about it. But then again, I know it needs to happen.
Well, there was something that I feel like was just kind of like glassed over. Was that somebody actually saw him speaking with Kiana? That was you. Okay, so you witnessed him speaking with Kiana and him both watching you, concernedly so. And you didn't think to say anything about it then. Are you going to say something to your allies?
I want to talk to Ronald's character about it before I talk to the allies, because I know it needs to be done, and I know that my group, Flurry, doesn't particularly want it to happen. But I also know that to better our relationship with the guard and the city itself, it needs to happen. But I don't want it to be open unless I can prove that it's a good thing and not just a bad thing.
Right,
Bubs,
right.
real quick, her last name is Greenheart, correct?
Yeah, Kiana Green.
And silly question: when did Horam not become a brick?
Horam
I thought he had like an intelligence of 8.
10.
10 actually.
Yeah, he's not an idiot.
I've always had an intelligence. Actually, I had a 9 in both wisdom and intelligence, but when I got the
He
chance,
just
I
no,
went
he
up
just
to
always
10.
plays that low.
I mean,
I see.
push
He
come to
plays it like
shove.
he has a 4, but he's not that bad.
Push come to shove. He's still more intelligent than you are charismatic.
I'm more charismatic than you are strong.
Damn.
Although I never use it. Which I guess takes its toll.
Wait, are you trying to say that you're not the sweet talker of our group? Come on.
Define
Hey, I-
sweet talker.
I might not be pretty, but I hurt things good.
I may not be pretty, but I sure am ugly.
I was just kind of waiting for you to drop the sentence right there after I may not be pretty.
Yes, sweet talk is Horam. Lull us into some clothless area and take us to the sweet, sweet place of
I tell
Charlie
you what,
Miles.
if we ever really need a favor from Sasha and Charlie, we're just gonna go ahead and throw Horam and a gimp mask in there and just like let it go all night.
And turn me into an anti-paladin in one night.
Oh my god.
He goes
See how
out
it
like
goes.
sparkling white, comes out dark, has both of his eyes blacked out this time.
It's like a gimp suit has formed into my skin. I just permanently look like that.
Well, it seems as if you guys have some options, some ideas. Klaus, I know that you particularly wanted to handle some things as well. Like, I know that you aren't just settled and happy with the events. You're just like, yeah, well, you know what? My job here is done. I'm just gonna go back to the farm and pick coffee beans again.
That's
See you
what
later,
he's
Cauldron.
doing.
I think that's always been his plan from the start, is to finally get away from him.
Yeah, the one thing Klaus worries about at the end of it all is who's taking care of his farm.
Every night before he goes to
Yeah, my
bed, he just pulls out a locket and it's just coffee and he's just like,
I really love that farm.
He really loved that farm, that's right.
What was not Jimothy, the one that I was talking to in the tavern? Who was the other twin?
Elliot.
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 Yes, Elliot and Jimothy. It's like Timothy with a J.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Elliot.
But no, as far as all the stuff that we have to do, let's see, we need to go ahead and find Rufus. We need to go to the Clockwork Citadel. We need to go ahead and investigate the missing people. We have to go ahead and investigate why they're half.
I mean, I feel like if
We
we're
don't
gonna
have the
track
DLC
down...
for Clockwork Citadel yet.
Yeah,
the
this.
crab armor first.
Remember, I'm technically running an EA game at this moment. So until we reach
We need to
our
buy like 3 season passes.
once we get those season passes
Chat, we
purchased,
really need this. If you guys can purchase the DLC pack from Bub, you can continue watching this adventure.
oh my god, you just gave me the greatest idea.
Please insert Wave 2 of D&D.
Apathy's Razor non-membership only deals 1 extra damage to the enemy, but it deals the D4 back to you. Yeah, and then it's like Apathy's Razor membership unlocked is the full effect that
Insta-kill?
you get. Yeah,
Just fucking just doubles it.
plus 20% experience.
Actually, the version of Apathy's Razor that doesn't damage you is it was a pre-order bonus. You kind of missed the boat on that one.
But only from GameStop, not Best Buy.
But it's
Jerrod
okay, I have the
was
Halloween
Best Buy
special
exclusive.
event.
Yeah,
The Halloween special event comes with a skin.
yeah.
Costs 3 times as much though.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this much: we're not doing skins because I keep going to jail for wearing those.
You had to make it weird.
Had to go there, Buffalo Bill.
Saint Cuthbert, Doorman. Okay. I'm reorganizing all of our way they're better placed.
I
So I'm
feel
just
like
combining.
there's someone here that needs to speak specifically to Jenya.
It's probably Jerrod.
I'd say Jerrod. I couldn't think of
I
anyone
like how
else.
Klaus is slowly raising his hand up, and then I already know that Horam was like, she does kind of have my demon baby at her
Yeah. In her
place
basement.
of her place of work. That's right. The leader of a positively aligned good church
Taking care
has
of a demon.
a demon infant in the basement that she's just
Demon baby.
given pudding packs.
Who her goddess has already condemned
Yeah.
as like
Evil.
something that needs to not be in this world anymore.
And after knowing all of this, they still said Jerrod's the one that has to talk to Jenya.
Yeah.
I was raising my hand. Look, I know that I drove Rufus away. I need to go,
The funny thing
See,
is...
I feel he's a holy man.
Yeah.
If he really wants to come back to the light, he has to wait for his God to, show him the path.
The funny thing
Well,
is...
he's not
back.
really a holy man. He's more of a handyman
They-
who happened to work for the church.
They all have their reasons for going for the church, but then they look at you, Jerrod, and they're like, this motherfucker needs Jesus.
Now, just because we're talking about being handy, does not mean that Jerrod's going to immediately run to the church. He will be tempted.
Are you
But-
sure? I heard that they got a new lot of boys over there.
Wow. Wow.
Way to make it weird, Red.
The only way
We're,
that would really be inviting to him is if they were in fact a fresh batch of doorknobs that were shipped in.
Yeah.
Little boy knobs.
Wait, do they ship the doorknobs for all 3 doors that they have at the front of the church?
Those were actually removed.
Were they?
They were.
I thought
It
they
was
still there.
It was
Yeah, they were
entirely.
practical.
It was entirely an inconvenience to new attendees to the church. So they were like, out with those. Got to take out 2.5 doors.
You know what? I can't wait. I can't wait until somebody donates enough to go ahead and put some new knockers on that door.
Jerrod just loves his knockers.
You still have the urge to steal them, don't you?
Strike one.
I was gonna say, like, we haven't even started the session yet. We're already like on the edge of a SAS chart. It's like sticking a pinky over the line.
Yeah. Leah, this is
You
a
won't
good
do it.
chance. While we're still kind of
won't.
like in this phase, this is a good opportunity for everybody that wanted to get in any kind of quirk. This is your chance, and it looks like Leah is going to come down with a vengeance. My word.
He's annoying me.
I throw in a couple dad jokes, and all of a sudden, everybody needs to go ahead and take.
Welcome to Ronald's life.
Are there recordings of this particular event previously? Yes.
Yes.
There are previous sessions recorded. You just have to go back and look in the VODs. They're vodcasted.
Yeah, there's something like 50 of them.
I don't think
no.
there's that many. I think there's probably
there's
closer to like 25.
25
Yeah.
or 30, I think.
Was Artist part of the last laugh? No, right?
No.
No, he had affiliation with them, but he wasn't part of it.
He
Correct.
was their fence.
Yeah.
And then Sarshim Dalshan?
He was the
Salashar?
leader of the church that died in the
Yeah.
Lucky Monkey.
Yes.
Yeah, Sharshim Delashard is the one who was escorting
Next
the
to the
wands.
dark elf.
That's right. He was actually escorting the wands.
Right. The waters of control water, right?
The wands of
waters
the
of-
water.
The waters of control
It
water.
was actually just a bunch of Dasani. 24
No,
pack.
dude, it was Fiji. It's the only way they could travel it because the square bottles kind of thing.
See, I was thinking like Evian. Go old school with it.
You're fucking both fired.
I was hired.
Guys, looks like there's a position open on Shackled City.
Make that 5.
I was hired. You owe me a lot of money, my friend.
All right, let's calculate all the money that I've earned from running Shackled City from the viewers. All right, it looks like I owe you about $6.
And that's if you
give us
round
all
up.
the ad revenue. Yeah.
We don't need to worry about Malcolm, right? I can take him out of the list.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Whoa, what? 2 of them?
The Tip
Yeah.
Tankard is basically their base of operations. It's true. Valair, they are currently in the Tip Tankard. I don't remember exactly where that's at. If you've managed to find a map available, it's there. I promise it's there.
Isn't it near where High Lantern Street is on our map currently?
I
Sort of in that area.
feel like it's near
It's
High Lantern.
northeast corner, isn't it?
I feel like it is. My map is... I'm using a different map this time since I changed computers. It's not accurate.
Oh, you little shit.
Just read what she gave you.
Maybe.
A little bit.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. At least it's very easy for you to get away with. Nothing's gonna be too challenging. So, we got that. That's taken care of. I think that's mostly taken care of. So, where are we starting first, boys?
Well, I know where I'm starting.
Go ahead.
Brand new armor like this, I'm putting on my frilly little pink apron.
That's right. That's right. Guys, this is your opportunity to get in any quirks. We have 2 quirks that have come in courtesy of Leah. If there's anybody else here that has any quirks to put in, I'm going to go ahead and tell Sniper and everybody else here about his quirks so you guys know what he's getting into. So Leah has inflicted upon him Silly 13 and Silly 20. Silly 13 states, you must always wear an apron. You do not want to get your armor dirty. You do not want to get your armor dirty. And 20 says that you go by the book, but you never explain what book they're referencing. So it's like your own code of ethics of sorts that
everybody has to follow.
Well, that you have to follow, and that's really it. It's like why are you doing this? Like, we're going by the book, guys. What book? The fucking book, man. What do you mean, what book? That's your shtick this evening.
Yeah, we're gonna go with, chapter 7, subsection 13B.
Oh God, calm down, Eli. Calm down. So, guys, if you have nothing else, we'll run from that point. If you have an opportunity, you can check your reputation by typing an ! rep. You can see what you can spend by typing an ! table. Take the link. It's a bit.ly link. It'll take you directly there. All right. So now that you have donned your fancy pink apron.
Well, it's given me some problems around the shoulders. Hey, Sakata, could you go ahead and do the bow on the back? Just do it straight.
I'm going to
And do the loop over so it looks really kawaii.
very sternly go and tie up his bow for him.
Looser! Looser!
I'm gonna tighten it a little bit more. You said tighter, right?
Any response? I'm waiting to hear from that. I missed a face because I'm PMing someone.
No, right now he's just kind of sucking wind.
After he's had a few nice quick gasps of air. Jesus Christ. I'm going to slightly untie the bow.
Okay.
Oh. Better. Okay. Sheila, let's go. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my sword and start walking for the door. Clunk, 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 in my brand new armor.
I'm going to turn to Klaus, Horam, or, Balthar, literally anyone who's in the room. Has he always... Apron? Is this new? This is new, right?
It's what's chic now.
I guess I just don't understand fashion nowadays.
I don't even
Klaus,
know what chic means.
how much did fashion change when I died? Are wood shoes popular yet?
What?
What?
Fashion? Have you looked around this town recently?
I mean, I thought it was a style. Is commoner not a style?
People are wearing their curtains because they have no other cloth. There is no fashion scene here.
I mean, it looks like Jerrod's getting into the fashion sense. Maybe it's a noble thing.
Gentlemen, as the book says, time waits for no man.
Where in what book does it say time waits for no man?
Jerrod's just going to kind of lean back and peer around the door frame. Look, I don't care that you're not as well read as I am, but we've got to go. Brand new day,
I
early start,
agree.
new armor. Let's go ahead and get this let's go ahead and get this knocked in, boys. Come on, on 3. 1, 2, 3, go! He starts walking back downstairs.
I'll follow behind.
I'm gonna lean over to Klaus and say, what's going on right now?
Beats me. Let's just go with it. He seems ready to go.
I don't even know where we're going.
Neither do I.
And I'm gonna start following.
Well, before we take off, there's something I need to inform you all of.
Where's that voice coming from? Oh, Balthar, there you are.
Yeah,
You keep
I
standing-
broke my stealth a lot.
No. You keep standing next to walls in the dark. You need to like go ahead and either step away from the shadows or smile more.
So I've been doing some investigating, and there still seems to be an issue with a lot of the disappearances going on throughout the town. So if anything, I think we should probably take precedence in that first.
Awesome. Where do we start?
I picked up a lead at the coroner. That's probably the best place to start. With some of the dead bodies that have been popping up, I was told that it'd probably be best to speak to the coroner about the condition of the bodies.
But I haven't seen any bodies around the corner.
Coroner, not coroner.
Oh, oh, right. Well, that's actually a good point. You know, Rule 3 does say that we have to go ahead and investigate these kinds of things. Yeah, sure. Does
Well,
anybody know where that is?
Yes, it's one of the shops near Low Sword Street.
Awesome. Lead on, Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Give me a perception, please. Everyone that is downstairs in the open common area of the tankard.
Haha, over a 10.
So it's 12, 14.
Made for combat
Okay.
when you rolled nothing but 2s and 1s.
So for everybody that breaks 15 at this point, not exceptionally difficult, mind you. It
It's
seems
everyone
that
but me.
it was... Oh, it was everyone
literally
but you.
everyone but me.
You've just been kind of keeping your eyes at this point directly upon Balthar as he seemingly skulks around, blending in with every potential environment that he finds himself standing near. So you haven't technically removed your eyes from this situation, but you didn't track the new man entering into the bar. It seems to be a bit of a commoner. As he swings open the door, you hear noises coming from outside of the tavern itself. There seems to be individuals as the door swings open. The peasants are rioting. They seem to be going a bit wild. Multiple people are yelling out about taxation and theft and the fairness of the common folk and how the nobles are running away with their funds, their money. And this man
Libertarians.
steps in with a document that he slams down on the table. And you see Griffin just kind of peer down. And he nods his head, looking over it, then looking up and around. Multiple other peasants kind of nod. You see a few of the adventurers that have seemingly found this place as their home, along with yourselves. They all kind of nod in understanding and agreement. But you don't really seem to know what's going on.
No, I don't. When did he learn how to read?
Well, it's easy to know what it says when someone tells you.
Oh.
It's easier to read when you're not reading.
Well, seeing, because they slammed it down on the table, right? Or on the
bar, on the bar itself.
I'll go
he's saying
pick it up
they
and
bring
take a
this.
look at it.
Sure. Griffin is there cleaning his mugs, tending to a few new nicks and dings in the bar of the tavern itself. As you approach, he nods to you, and he kind of like double takes for a moment, just to make sure you are who he thought you might be. Something different about you. And then he nods again. You see that his son will appear on the corner, Elliot, the younger of the two sons, and he seems to be interested in you. He spots you. It's not like the adult eye at this point, where you're kind of seen and then you're forgotten immediately because of your armor. He takes utter fascination to you. Again, he has more questions, more concerns. He wants to know so many things about bugbears and their heritage. but he sees that you have a stern look on your face as you grab the document from the table. And I have a handout.
By the way, the dice window needs to be adjusted. It sits slightly above the most recent result.
Thank you.
Dice bender.
Show to everyone. That's... Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying. It says, Notice, citizens of Cauldron, let your voice be heard. Come one, come all to the City Hall this evening. Those in power must learn that we do not welcome their indulgences. Their vices shall be borne by our pockets no more. The tax collectors are the lapdogs of their greed. Let not their shadows besmirch our stoops. Speak your will, voice your pains. Help us return Cauldron to her children.
Make Cauldron great again.
Make Cauldron great again. That's accurate.
Little do we know that Horam's actually slightly orange now.
Yeah, his hands are a little tiny now that we really look at them.
They're kind of loose in his gloves.
Reading the note, I'll kind of just look up at Griffin. It's not monsters running through the streets. It seems to be politicians working over the common. Seems like more trouble just brews day by day.
Aye, sir. We believe it's a real problem. And the people at the meeting this evening and around the City Hall, it's something that we wish that we can take care of. But we know not how it's going to go down with all of the new guards in town. My family's worried.
Oh,
I have
it's gonna
sons.
Go down like...
We'll do what we can, but would you do me a favor? Close up early today and fortify. I don't know what's gonna happen tonight, and your son and yourself have taken kindness upon me already, and to have something happen to you would be unfortunate.
Wait, you think that something's going to happen in the town? You think that I got something to worry about for my boys?
I can't say, but I'd rather you be safe than sorry.
And what of the rest of you, Mr. Sakata? Jerrod? Even Master Klaus? Do you agree with this man? Should I bar the doors this evening? Is it something that you believe I should do?
It would probably not be the worst idea, but it might also make them more upset if they can't drink.
There are other bars in town. I'll cover what you would have made tonight if you guys close early. It's for your best interest.
Gentlemen. I think you're overreacting a little bit. I mean, as the history books have shown, there's never been a problem as far as taxation comes up. The people are going to get a little loud. They're going to get a little rowdy. 20 or 30 of them might go ahead and show up at the governor's mansion. You know, huff, puff, bluster around a little bit with pitchforks, and they go home.
Jimothy
Wouldn't they be
steps.
killed by the guards?
Jimothy steps from the window, and as he peers back from the window, looking over to you, carrying a plate full of dirty dishes, he says, 20 or 30? I just counted nearly 4 to 5 dozen just on this street alone.
Okay, it's a little bit bigger this year.
Your brother's employing half-orcs, isn't he?
No. Well,
And that's what we believe a part of the problem is, that he's done something to cut our boys free, to bring in these scabs, these heathens into Cauldron, and pay them our hard-earned coin. This is something that we believe that it's not fair. It's not fair to the people. It's not fair to my family. And I don't have anything against their kind, their races. It's not a problem to me. But they're rowdy when they're together, and they demand too much. They leave a mess. They broke the last stools when they were here. It's not fair.
I'll admit, it's a little unusual of my brother to go ahead and see this kind of thing, particularly given his love for the baser people he was hiring. And you know what? I'll be more than happy to go ahead and talk to my brother about it. But for right now, don't worry about going ahead and closing up shop. What's the worst that can happen? The people aren't mad at you; they're mad at the nobility.
I'm gonna turn to Horam. Horam, can you calm them down? Can you impart some godly calmness upon them?
I'm not certain that Sarenrae herself would calm these guys down.
Could you talk to them?
But I could. There's not much I can do here. That's more people than are willing to hear my voice.
And anger in a group like that tends to become blind.
Listen, I don't presume to know what is to happen or what's going to come of these events, but I know that some of the local shops have been shutting down because they can't afford the taxation, and we woke up today to find that the people, I forget what you call them, my son had a name for it, they're walking around with armed guard with these Orcan men, and they're demanding extra taxation. They said that we have not paid our fair share, and they have hung one of our fellow individuals who denied them of their cut. Have you not been outside today? You've not seen the blood that's been shed already?
Blood? Yes, it is a good day to burn the apron.
Would I have seen anything like that on my way back from the night before?
It was hung at dawn.
Okay, so this was as I was getting back then.
One of my friends has already left town. His name is Connor. He works at the Wee Apothecary, and he's not there anymore. He left. He said he couldn't stomach the possible events, and he would much rather pack up and leave town and have his head on a pike. And I personally don't blame him. Business is booming because when times is tough, everyone likes a drink. But in this time, I don't know when we're going to turn a profit. We're barely scraping by as is at the moment.
Well, just do yourself a favor. Just keep your head low. Don't get involved with all this hustle and bustle. It's all going to blow over.
Jerrod,
Because,
you have to keep in mind you haven't been here for 10 years.
right,
The town's
right.
gone to a bit.
But I was living here before any of you were. And every time this has ever happened,
I'm going to raise my hand when he says that. I was around the same time as you.
you're younger than me.
I'm 20 and I was also gone for 10 years as well. Thank you very much.
And he was dead for a couple months.
Yeah. I know what Cauldron was like a few years ago. Trust me, it's not too different. It's still pretty awful.
The point is, you should. I still feel that Master Griffin here should take some precaution.
Fine.
As I said before, anger in a mob like that tends to become blind, and there is no direction for it. There is no reason behind it at any given point, other than to just cause destruction.
Very
Close
well.
up shop and fortify for the night, Master Griffin.
Very well. My sons and I, we will close up shop and we'll take heed in our study, and we will arm ourselves in case something goes wrong, awry. And I just have a feeling there's something on the air. You can feel it. It's not right. It's not normal. Something bad is happening in this town. And I don't know if you can or cannot feel it, but it's here. It's in the heart of Cauldron. And something needs to be done about it.
Just something coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord.
You know, your cheeky tongue makes me think that you're a right cunt.
You're not too far off the truth. We will see what we can do about the people, and in the meantime, just stay safe.
So we're going to try and get them out.
Get
We need
who
to try to disperse this mob as soon as possible.
How well do you think bribery works?
You
Think
can't
that would,
bribe an entire city.
Not an entire. I'm talking about a small bar to get the patrons to relocate down the street.
Well,
I don't think that's going to do anything.
Everybody loves Griffin. He doesn't need to go ahead and bribe anybody to leave. He just says, "Hey, everybody, get out. Love you, whatnot." And that's it.
We'll wait and see then. Let's see how the customers take it.
This also might pose another problem now that there's a lot of people in the open that are going to be in the open tonight. If these disappearances have anything to do with these vampire attacks or attacks with any other creatures, they're going to be lambs to the slaughter.
Well,
and
how about
that outbreak could potentially quadruple overnight.
Well, how about this? Everything is going down this evening. For right now, let's go ahead and try and disperse this mob out in front. Get to the coroner, and see some of these bodies. And we can just go ahead and check into the citizenry and everything tonight when everything happens.
Very well.
Let's be honest. Standing around isn't going to do us any good. Staying here isn't going to do very much. I mean, my expertise does not fall within boarding up doors and windows. Doors. Anyways.
You good there, champ?
No. I just got a little distracted there for a moment. My mind wandered. But are we all in agreement? Let's go and investigate a little bit and then see if we can't go ahead and just watch over things tonight. Make sure nobody gets hurt.
Okay.
Everybody?
Yep.
Yeah. Very well.
Excellent. Lead on, Macduff.
I think that's you, Balthar.
Yeah. I'll put on my cloak, and I'll start making my way to low sword street.
Sure. The moment you guys exit the building, the noise is wild. Jerrod was entirely wrong. 20 to 30 people. No, that's entirely inaccurate. When the door bolsters wide, you are met by a roving crowd, a sea of angry low caste that make their way to the mayor's.
Well, so much for that whole not keeping them.
Incredibly angry. They shuffle through the streets, pushing each other. Some of them carrying instruments, others carrying rotted vegetables. They seem to be incredibly upset as they move with this almost group mob intuition that seems to rove forward in this almost like lingering hatred. You can feel it. This is not by any means a small group. This is an intense amount of people, probably mounting into the hundreds as they're making their way to the mayor's.
Seeing the mob, I'll kind of dash back to the door and look back at it and tell Griffin, you might want to start fortifying now. And then I'll close the door behind me. And then
before we step out into the giant sea of people, I'm going to turn to the group and say, that's bad. That's bad. I don't know if you guys feel it. They're in fighting moods.
We need to get to the mayor's office then.
Just think with me for a second. There are half-orcs on guard. They're not known for being very peaceful, pacifistic, like the slap on the wrist kind of guys. If something goes down, this doesn't go down clean. This is going to be bloody.
That's true.
But they're peasants. Remember, the minute that some kind of violence breaks out, they back down.
Unless they have a cause. In which case, they're going to push harder.
Jerrod, what have you been consuming lately? Any kind of drugs of any sort?
I like how you're just accusing him. Yeah, you've been hitting
I haven't been consuming anything.
Paint thinner or something?
I don't have to consume anything. I've got a ring.
We should stop talking and head over to the mayor's office. We need to make sure that this crowd doesn't get out.
Give me perceptions, please. Perceptions.
Might I point out
Okay,
Yes,
so
I
that's
see things.
19. Okay, so it's... 'cause my
Okay,
favorite training.
Sakata, you're the first person to immediately notice this, followed closely by Balthar. Balthar, you have no recollection of this particular individual,
Okay.
but it will be followed closely by Klaus. But Sakata, you're the first to note that there is a woman that is attempting to break this wave of anger. She looks incredibly familiar. Not a very broad woman. She's very gaunt in shape, but she seems to adorn a particular image of Saren Ray over the front part of her breastplate.
Can I push through the crowd so I can give her like a little bit of breathing room and just kind of basically bulk up and just like body block a wave?
Give me some strength, please. Give me a strength check.
Yeah, sure. I got that. I actually need to open my sheet first. I thought I had that open.
I
That's
think
awkward.
you'd be rolling a d6.
D7 actually.
I didn't realize that you had 24 strength.
Oh, that was almost a natural 20.
Okay, you actually find it hard. Normally, this would be enough to kind of push by a small lot of people, but in this situation, their massive amounts of numbers is enough to just kind of like let you noodle arm through, but you're not going to get to push any of them whatsoever. Give me another strength, please. You see that they're...
Can I go ahead and... support?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That's much better.
Go ahead, give me some support.
Can I Batman scale buildings around this mob, or at least close enough so I'm not pushing my way through people?
With a little bit of legwork, yeah, you probably could be able to do that. Give me a climb, please. Jerrod, as you and Sakata begin to kind of push open this wave to let this woman through, you note that it's Jenya Rikas of Saren Ray's. She is the lead healer, the lead individual at Saren Ray's House of St. Cuthbert. You see that she's trying to push through, but as you begin to push this mob open, it begins to sideline them, and it's shifting the weight of the wave. And as they begin to move, you see that it also begins to shift her. And in a brief moment, you see her head bob below the wave. What do you do? What is Horam and Klaus? What do you guys do?
Yeah, I'm gonna rush in and try and help push people aside to aid her.
I was gonna drop the wave to go pick her up.
What do you mean drop the wave?
I'm gonna stop holding up the waves so I can walk over to her and pick her up instead of sitting in front of a bunch of people like, no, you shall not pass.
Holy shit. Okay, Balthar, you managed to scale the building. It takes you a few moments, about a round, but you're able to get up to the top of the one-story tankard.
Okay. I want to start getting moving over the buildings and stuff, trying to get a good vantage point just to make sure that if shit starts getting hectic, like someone's gonna try to throw or something, I can have enough of a vantage point to shoot it away from them, or
Sure.
kind of give them some cover fire.
Balthar, give me a new perception, please. This is not very difficult for you to see.
23.
Okay, as you continue looking on... Wow, you got a 2 and you got a 23. That's excellent. Perfect. As
Stalker
you
armor.
continue looking onward through this urban environment, all the way to one particular building, you see that this line doesn't seem to dry up. There is no sparsity in the liveliness of this wave of individuals. You were educated in the basic necessities and disciplines, and you can tell that this isn't some mere minor event. That there is probably around 600 to 700 people storming through Cauldron on their way to the mayor's, on their way to the assembly hall.
Shit.
I doubt you.
Fuck. I mean, there's too much noise going.
Yes.
And try to signal them. I'll look up and call for for Yulgar to come down.
Okay.
And then as he drops, I'll look to him. Just follow me and stay safe, and I'll release him back up in the air so he just keeps where I'm kind of
Sure.
like defending me if someone tries to attack.
Sure. He kind of skirts from higher building spots to higher spots, waiting for your next call or your next movement. But that's pretty much where he's going to be in this situation.
So, is there anyone that's standing out from this line? Like I can see the mob moving like crazy. Is there anyone around them, like around the floor right now, that's like just standing there, kind of giving shifty eyes, like anything like that?
I mean, you see a lot of commoners. This is a very large portion of the lower caste of individuals are here. I mean, you have the poor roving up to the middle class, mounting in suspense, preparing for drastic measure. And as they continue to push along, there is, every now and then you see an individual that doesn't quite seem to fit the bill. They wear a different colored stark robe, or they have a mask on to grant some anonymity. You can't entirely determine their motives as it is, but they don't seem to fit in. However, they're just kind of floating on.
Okay. So I can't follow. Well, yeah, I can't follow along with them.
From your vantage point, Balthar, you can see that 2 streets over, there is a very high, basically it's a high-planked standard where they would traditionally hang some sort of flag, and there is a large, 6x6 that is nailed to it. And from it, hanging about 10 feet down, is a citizen of Cauldron. Hung by the throat, he seems to sway in the wind.
Okay, so I can already assume that was the one that they were talking about, the guy that got hanged.
Yes.
All right. Does that seem to be the focal point of where people are gathering, or is it towards the mayor's office?
It's to town hall.
Okay. I'll try whistling for the group, or Klaus, or Sakata, whoever's closer.
When you peer back down, you see that Klaus hasn't exactly waded into the wave as of yet, but Sakata, Jerrod, and Horam are moving into the wave to save an individual, which you can't even seem to make out from this point of view. I'll need new strengths, please, from Jerrod, Sakata, and Horam. Sakata, despite your entirely high roll, you're going to need assistance.
How about that?
That's pretty good. Horam, can I get a save from you, please? Oh my god.
So, Bub, do they get through?
Very good, very good. It didn't take long. As you can see, the moment that you have made it over to the area that she had gone down, she's but a few feet away. And she was slowly getting trampled. As you manage to pull her to her feet, you can see that she has cuts and scrapes. There are some kicks that have landed into the abdomen, that have torn at some of her clothing, but it didn't really do much to the armor. She is in fact wearing a breastplate. You can't entirely tell why she was prepared to wear breastplate, but she's at least prepared in this name.
I could guess.
As you help her stand, she gasps for air, clutching onto her breasts, and she's struggling to breathe. You can't tell if it's something relating to anxiety, or she's having a panic attack, or something further, but she's gasping for air. What do you guys do?
I'm going to try and move her back into the bar at this point. See if I can kind of nudge through Horam and Jerrod as they're holding back the wave while taking her and VIP escorting her, basically.
Okay. With the best efforts of your group, you slowly begin to cut through the swath of this roving wave of hatred, and as you make it into the bar, you see that Griffin is there. He's been watching the entire time. He swings open the door, and as you let her in, she seems to press on to her side. Give me a perception check, Sakata, as you kind of help her inside. So you begin to look at her armor, because the breastplate isn't exactly tied. It's not leather strapped. This is one solid piece that was cast particularly for her. When you begin to look over it, it's been crushed onto her body. There is basically a pinch point on the left and right side where they were trampling her.
Can I lean out the door and whistle to Horam? Or, well, I guess whistling won't work. Who's closer to me on the line?
At this point, they both broke through the wave here, and you guys can call for anyone.
Okay, then I'm gonna grab Horam by the shoulder and push him closer, into the bar towards her.
I would evacuate out of the mob to get back into the bar as soon as she's out.
Okay. All right, Jerrod, Horam, you've been called in. Balthar, you're still mounted to the building. Klaus, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm gonna go in. If they're going back in the bar, then I'm gonna go in with them, especially because they've already picked Jenny out of the crowd.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm thinking getting back into the bar would probably be the best bet, and Jared's gonna kind of bar the front door and start looking for a back exit.
Sure.
I'm gonna have my bow drawn. Have 2 arrows knocked, but I'm not gonna be firing anyway, just in case, whatever reason, shit happens to go awry. I want to be ready to kind of put down some people. So I'll have both of my enchants active, Bubs.
Sure. Sounds good.
On my bow.
Sounds good. Okay, with both enchants active, in preparation for something to go down, I need something from inside of the tavern at this point. The patrons have basically all gathered at the windows, not entirely sure of what's going to be happening next. They see you rush in, and they kind of spread out, giving you guys plenty of room. Jenya is still just... She's still struggling to breathe. She's gasping for air.
So it's one solid chest piece. It doesn't have any strap.
There's no straps whatsoever. It rests on the shoulders, and it took form to her body. There's not even arm pieces. It's literally just a piece that covers the back, the lower back, the breast, and the lower stomach.
Oh, so the sides are open.
It's no. It's like literally she
It's
has
a tank top.
It's
an
yeah,
armored tank top.
Picture like an armored tank top. Yeah.
We can't pull it over her head because it's currently smashed into her rib cage. And that usually doesn't bode well.
if you would allow me, I can attempt to mend the armor and make it easier to remove.
I'll stand back like whoa, we got a badass over here mending armor.
Okay, a badass with his
Just
his
trying to
armament.
save a life,
I know.
No big deal.
Sure. Let me take a look here real quick at Mend.
Yeah,
I know
I need
Mend
to
has a cast
Take a
time.
look at it.
Mend says, it can target up to 1 pound per level. The spell repairs damaged objects, restoring 1d4 hit points to the object. If the object is considered broken, the condition is removed. How long, though? It takes 10 minutes. Its casting time is 10 minutes. So, you may have better luck at this point since she's already got a crimp in her armor.
Just tearing it.
Yeah, using your brute strength as a can opener. Both of you guys, Jerrod and Sakata, hell, Horam, anyone else that wants to get their hands in on this.
Sakata, you go ahead and get the left side. I'll go ahead and get the right. Let's just go ahead and try and rip it open from armpit down.
I'll watch for
Boy, oh boy.
anything pressing into her even further. It's gonna be hard to rip this off, and even harder to do it safely.
Why don't you go ahead and actually reach on the bottom of the front and try and pull it that way? That way, as we kind of move down, you can just pull it away from the body.
Will do.
Firmly grasp it in my hands.
Okay. Grant me some strength checks, please, gentlemen.
This can only go so bad.
All right, so I've got Jerrod, Sakata, and Horam. You actually feel when you begin to lift the armor itself, and as Horam, you're pulling back, granting this this tension on the crimps. You actually can hear this very low howl coming from that particular spot. It's like it's slowly prying the armor itself. You can feel your hands starting to heat up as you're starting to pull at this metal itself, but it's still incredibly thick. And while your efforts are bested, you should still probably find something to kind of give you a little nudge, like get something in there to pry it open a bit. Any kind of cut in the armor will help a great deal.
Anybody got a crowbar?
I don't think anybody here has a crowbar.
Pull one out of my ass real quick.
I don't think prying on a woman with a crowbar is going to help much.
No. I would use my scythe, but it doesn't have a tip anymore.
Well, I highly doubt that going ahead and cutting into the armor is going to help all that much.
I mean, piercing it will do at least something.
It could pierce her, actually.
Well, yeah, duh. But I'm not gonna like take a scythe and go, yeah, let's do this.
I'm glad you thought that through.
It's like, yeah, woohoo! Can opener style. No, I mean like as in lightly perforating the armor. That way, there's holes in it.
Okay.
Trying to not poke her skin with the sword at the same time, just enough to cut the armor. But
does anyone here happen to have, some kind of smaller weapon?
Oh wait, I have a dagger. That's right. Yeah, I got that.
Okay. All right.
I can hand it off to Horam and see if it'll help with anything for at least
Master Griffin.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead and have your bunghole hammer? That's actually a real thing.
Hold on.
A bunghole hammer? I'm afraid to Google search this.
I will. Hold on.
Bunghole hammer. Oh, gotcha. So, I gotcha. To pop the bunghole, or to drive the bunghole in. So, what are you going to do with this? Are you trying to...
I'm going to recommend that we use it around the crimp. To hopefully, in the fold, just kind of chisel.
Yeah.
Use the hammer just to kind of perforate a little bit so we have some kind of damage in that area, and then we can try and... God. Griffin, do you keep ice here?
Oh, we do. So we have an ice chest in the back, and it's not very...
You have ice
Yeah,
tongs?
yes, we do. Well, why don't we just... I could get you a corkscrew. Would that not help?
No, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and perforate the armor with the dagger in the hole and the hammer. Then take the ice hooks, which should basically be two hooks on handles, wedge them in, and then we can pull the armor apart that way. Get some extra leverage.
I don't understand, but I trust you. He goes back, he rushes to the rear side to grab at his ice chest to make this thing open. He'll return with all the necessary supplies, a singular bunghole hammer, and 2 ice tongs. Very rudimentary. Like, it was not bought brand new by him.
That'll work.
Okay. You're given the tools.
All right. Klaus, you're the one who has the most... Oh, wait, no, not Klaus. No. Horam, you've got the best understanding of human anatomy. Try and go ahead and knock that dagger in at an angle. That way it doesn't go ahead and perforate Jenya.
I will do my best.
All right. Sakata, get ready with one of the hooks.
I will go on your signal.
Let's see what
I
you
would
got.
say go ahead and give it a quick hammer.
What kind of roll would you like for this, Bob?
I mean, it's gonna be an attack of sorts. You don't want to hit the target beneath the armor, but you still want to be able to puncture just enough.
I would say that puncturing it isn't going to be an issue. It's more of a dexterity.
I feel like
it's finesse.
It's initially. I mean, he's not trying to be very finessey about it. He's just trying to not drive a fucking pike through the side of Jenya. So, inevitably, I think you're just gonna have to pull your punch. Give me an attack. Give me strength plus your base attack bonus -4.
Peanut's 20. Does he just like dink and it just opens, or is it going to be like dinks through and it hits her through and makes her bleed out externally?
I haven't decided yet. Let's see what he gets.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, it's a good thing I rolled a 1 because that means I can't puncture right through the armor with that weak of a hit.
Well, technically, I had you roll an attack to do this, so give me a D100.
Oh god. Don't trip and lose your weapon. That's my dagger.
Don't accidentally beam Jenya across the head with this hammer.
If you hit her in the face with a bunghole hammer, I don't think she's going to be happy.
2/3. 67.
67, he says. All right, well, let's take a look. What does 67 say? This is... melee 67. Try too hard.
Oh no.
This is
Try
not
too
good.
hard. You enforce an amount of bleed equal to your strength bonus. What is your strength bonus? What is your strength bonus? 3. You attempt to pull your punch, but what you weren't prepared for was the craftsmanship of the armor itself in the moment that you line up the bunghole with the particular pinch point of this tong of sorts, or whatever you're going to be carving this open, this knife. You drill this thing through, and it sinks through like hot butter, driving the weapon, or whatever it is that you've driven through, into your target. And as she's gasping for air, there's a sharp, a very, very sharp inhale as she reaches down to her side. And you can tell that you've managed to pierce her.
Also, he will heal. It's a vampire dagger.
Oh, perfect.
God damn it.
just if that makes you feel any better, and at least you're getting
doesn't.
HP for it.
Gets that free 1d6 back. That's nice.
Yeah, well, I'm at full health, so let's not worry about it for now.
Okay, so aside from having the worst choice possible,
Horam, can you go back on healing duty?
Yep. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna lay on hands, Jenya, immediately after.
I take
Puncture.
both the bunghole hammer and the knife away from him. I'm gonna turn to a sniper and say, "You want me to do it, or do you?"
I mean,
Would
you guys
you-
already pierced the
I
armor.
mean, I made
Yeah.
a hole, but I
Yeah,
also made
well,
a hole in her.
When
you
you
got a hole.
when you remove the dagger from the side of Jenya, you can see that the tip of the blade, probably the first 2 to 3 inches of the blade itself, is actually coated in blood.
Tasty.
She still clutches onto her side. Blood is now pouring out of the bottom of her armor. Remember, this is a bleed.
Yep.
And Jenya isn't quite like us.
Nope.
She's not a
All right,
human.
you manage to heal her, but you do nothing for the wound itself. It does not suture. She still continues
know.
to bleed.
I know.
Quickly, I go ahead and slip one of the hooks in the hole and start trying to guide and wedge Sakatas. That way we both have a hook in,
Mhm.
kind of like,
Okay.
So we're double penetrating this armor right now. Is what you're telling me.
DP, baby. Yeah, Eiffel Tower.
This is really no for an high five before we pull.
And yeah,
It's
I'm
not the
I'm
time
gonna-
or the place.
No, it's
Or
not.
the person.
Or the person, that's right.
Yeah. Before.
Do you know how fucked you guys will be if you take Saren Ray's lead? Oh my god.
I'd like to think Horam's the one who gets fucked in this situation more than
I
anyone.
would.
I think
She
so.
descended upon us and exploded the last time we encountered her. I don't think it's just Horam that's going to be
That's correct.
Well, no, we'll all take 60
at the
damage.
mercy
but
of her
we'll take-
anger.
We'll take like the 60 to 80 damage. He'll take like the 100 damage.
Yeah.
So I
See,
take
that's not true at all. We'll all take the same amount of damage. He'll just lose his paladin powers on top of it, so he
Again.
can't heal it back.
Okay, well, if you gentlemen are quite done, yeah. With me and Sakata ready, yeah, we're gonna pull. We're
Okay.
gonna go ahead and rip this apart.
All right.
strength checks.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna try and prevent the armor from concaving on the opposite side, pushing into
I'm
the
like-
side.
I'm like holding my breath, rolling these dice, hoping for not a 1.
Okay. So I've got a 19 from Sakata. Let's see what you get here, Jerrod.
About my usual.
That could have been better, but you didn't fail. You didn't fail. You effectively assisted in this point. It gave him a 21. You can see that as you begin to move these hooks inward and you begin to force them together, it starts to tear the opening a bit more intensely so. However, by the way that the armor is created, it's actually like, look at the bottom of your t-shirt right now. If you're wearing a t-shirt or whatever you're wearing, you see how the material is folded and then sewed? Well, the breastplate itself, the material was rolled and hammered.
Great.
So it's twice as thick in this particular area. It's going to be difficult for you guys to break through. So as you begin to pull this apart, you get down to this buckle point, this intense fold over, and you find that it's incredibly difficult to pass through. Blood is still trickling from her armor, bleeding out to her waistline. Can I get new strength checks, please?
Oh,
Very good. Very, very good. Sakata, you met my DC, and then Jerrod came through with the nat 20. That was very good. Together, you guys are actually able to basically place the hooks rear side together, and as you force through, it actually unfurls the metal in that spot as it slowly shears through it. When you pass the tongs back, these iron tongs to your ally Griffin, they are bent all to hell, and you will most certainly owe him a new pair, which he will gratefully accept because this was hand-me-down cheapy tongs that he couldn't even afford, and you guys managed to ruin them.
That's a good thing. We're helping out the bar.
yeah, we're getting him new equipment. It's supplies expense. It's fine.
But we did save the life of one of the most important people in town. I'm sure he'll give us he'll spot us a little bit of time on that.
Give you some leeway, for certain.
Yeah, but with that, I'm going to use the handle of the bug hammer and the kind of wonky iron hooks, and kind of like just pry the edges up a little bit so it's not pinched on her, and we can slip this up and off.
Yeah,
sure. Sure. At this point, you guys have already made your necessary checks. As you begin to relieve the pressure from her side, you can see that it naturally wants to kind of furl forward, that while the armor appeared to be beautiful, it was very poorly crafted. It's just a statement further as to the amount of funding that the local churches have. With that being said, you can see that the wound itself has managed to heavily saturate her clothing on the side. She's wearing her traditional cleric undergarb and will need some kind of suture.
Yeah, I was going to attend to that with my healer kit.
Sure. Show me what you got.
Heal check.
Yes, please.
No, bluff roll.
Yeah, that's good. Best I can do. It's still bleeding. You didn't do anything.
Just pat her on the side. Yep, it's good. As you said.
It's all in your head. It'll be perfectly fine.
You actually put the needle into the wound. You're like, that's how this works, right?
I need a couple more needles.
Oh my god. No, you find in the situation that you need to clean it a bit better, given that you had a bit more of a sterile location or something that would aptly show you the depth of the wound, or at least stifle the bleeding briefly.
I am going
a clean
to
rag.
Yeah. Jerrod's going to kind of like lift his apron a little bit and start like assisting, dabbing around the wound and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Griffin comes back with a bucket of water, and a sponge. It's not a very clean sponge, mind you, but he managed to wring it out and throw it, basically kind of wring the food and stuff off of it several times. And then he suggests, he dips it back in the water, and he's offering you fresh, warm water.
I'm going to do my best to clean the wound.
Okay. It's still not incredibly clean, but it's not like you squeeze it and a kielbasa comes out of it.
Good.
Can I roll to
terrify
assist?
me?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Give me new heals.
Yeah, I'm really good at this. Super helpful.
Wow, you guys are killing the 20s tonight. Yeah, Jerrod, as you kind of line up and you repetitiously push over the area and remove some of the blood, heavily soaking this sponge with the vast amount of blood that it's just kind of soaking up. Horam, you use the quickness and the available time, which mere seconds, mind you, to pinch together the skin and begin suturing this back up. Deft work with your fingers moving quickly. This is probably one of the better jobs at things that you've done since you've been a part of this game.
We are now going to call you House.
I've sewn butts and nutsacks together. I can sew aside.
That's right.
He did clean the needle afterwards, if you were wondering.
I just burned the needle. Like, I threw it out.
Yeah, dude, these
I got a whole new set.
these nat 20s are a little nuts tonight, guys. We've had, I'm gonna scroll up and look. 1, 2,
I figured out how
So
to tip
it's
the
7?
table, guys.
3, 4, 5,
I know I've rolled 2.
I as well have rolled
6.
I think I've done those.
We've had 6 nat 20s tonight in like less than 30 rolls. Those are really, really good odds, actually. So,
Sort of like you rolling ones on a lightning bolt.
yeah, well, those odds were way more intense
Astronomically low.
and not accurate. I'm still not entirely sure how that happened. I'm also not sure why I didn't go out and buy a fucking lottery ticket that night.
That's because you would have got all the numbers exactly one under.
One under, right?
Yeah. Or one over.
For that reason, I would have literally bought 3 tickets, one under and over my target numbers every time.
That's the real
Okay.
strategy.
As you finally begin to suture her wound up and she begins to relax from this like mid-panic attack that she had, she kind of like asks for you guys to help her up, to assist at this point.
I would assist in her getting up.
Okay. She breathes, and as she still clutches onto her side, you hear that like that seething like. Oh.
I'm gonna walk up to her and tell her, yeah, you should sit down. Standing usually isn't the best when you're bleeding like that.
She takes a seat at the nearest table, where where Griffin will bring her a fresh cup of clean water, something very cold. She breathes, and she's still kind of taking in the moment as she looks up to you, and there's this like very faint smile that kind of pours over her face, which is odd, all things considered, because well, she was just trampled, and then you guys stabbed her.
I swear,
But I
we
fixed
didn't
it.
tell him to stab you. I don't know if it was just him. It was totally an accident on our part. At least on our part.
With
Him,
this-
he might just hate you.
Wry smile rising over the corner of her mouth, she looks up to you, and she's like, It's funny that you've come to my rescue again. Honestly, I don't deserve so many heroes in this town, but now of all times, I need heroes in this town. A dear friend of mine is making his way to the assembly hall, to the town hall, and I worry for him. I do worry for him. And I can't go, but I would like it if you guys were to go, and well, this town needs people. It needs people like you. Look,
What does it look like?
People like me.
It's my old friend Alec Tercival. He's probably in his late 30s or early 40s. His hair is beginning to gray. He has slight beard, but mostly a mustache. Very intense eyes. He's definitely a thinking man. He's a paladin of St. Cuthbert.
I'm gonna turn to Klaus and say, "Can you remember all what she said, right? Can you go find Assassin's Creed over there and try and get him to scout?"
Go find who?
The bugbear.
Oh,
He has a name, you know.
yes.
I know, Balthar.
Assassin's
It would help
Creed,
if you
man.
used it.
It would, but I didn't. That's over with. Just can you go and find him and at least see if you can
I'll
find it?
scour the streets with him.
Thank
See
you.
if we can't find him.
Yes, Klaus, remember the rules. Just like it says in the book. Search from above.
What rules?
I don't know what he's saying.
You know what? Just I'm going now.
Klaus,
focus.
I'm gonna recommend this. Don't walk. I'd probably fly.
That
if I were
was
you.
the plan.
Good.
I would die in that crowd.
Most people would.
We can only hope.
Whoa. Uncalled for. Go, Klaus. We haven't much time before they reach the townhouse and potentially disaster.
So at this point, you guys have realized that the demonstration has begun a little early. Things were supposed to kick off this evening, but, well, when taxes are involved and the common man is under big business's thumb, or is being misguided or properly undirected by the nobles, they act with haste. And as such, you have seen this. So, as you step outside, Klaus, you see the ever-growing, this roving mob moving to the assembly hall, moving to town hall. What do you do?
Alright. I'm going to cast Fly on myself, and I'm going to move up to where I last saw Balthar, which I assume was climbing the... Wasn't he climbing the tavern itself?
Yeah, I was on
the tankard. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Still
When you
viewing with my bow drawn.
cast upon Fly, the moment that you ascend, you see that there is an owl circling overhead. You recognize this owl as... this is...
Yulgar.
Yulgar, that's right, thank you. Yulgar, the animal companion of Balthar.
I will fly towards it and see if I can spot a very stealthy bugbear.
Give me perception, please. Balthar, I need your stealth.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so awesome.
Doesn't matter how good your stealth unless you get a 20. Very close.
Very close.
Very close. Yeah, you manage to cycle overhead briefly for a moment, and you know that somewhere in this area you are likely to find Balthar, because where Balthar is, so is Yulgar, and he is way, way less conspicuous at this point. As you begin to pander down and around, you see that there is some kind of strange shading that's going on to the roof of the tankard itself. It doesn't seem to make much sense, but as you fly overhead, there isn't anything there, and then you see it shift. Predator style, you see this almost altered state, this transparency, and when he stands, you realize that it's not just mere stacks of shingles, that it's Balthar himself that has ascended to the top of the tankard. He waves you in.
How's your friend?
She's well now. She's sustained a little bit of trauma, you might say, from the trampling and subsequent stabbing, attempting to open the armor, but that's not important. She's okay now. She has a friend that's out in the crowd. He's a paladin of Saren Ray. We must find him and ensure that he's safe for her.
Paladin of Saren Ray. Would I know the symbol just by him telling me? Like, I wouldn't have to be like, oh, that's...
I would have it on me.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So
I'll just
Saren
associate
Ray's
the
kind
two.
of a big deal.
Yeah, Saren Ray's one of the larger, more known deities.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure. I just didn't want to metagame it.
Okay.
All right. Give him a nod. Okay, we're looking for a paladin. What does he look like exactly?
I'll give him the description they gave me. He's got a mustache.
All right. So
Nice!
I start playing the game.
That's him.
Audience, you see me doing this with my hand. I'm like,
It's like, okay, that knocks about a quarter of the population out. Good.
all right,
he's
okay.
playing Guess Who right now.
But yeah,
Okay, that's all
I'll
the
take the
women,
description.
well, most of the women off.
I'll take
Some of the
description.
children.
And I'll give him a nod. I didn't know you possess the ability of flight. Very interesting.
I try to reserve it for special occasions. You might say this is one of them.
Yeah, skeleton.
Agreed.
He looking like a man.
Like a very big man.
I'll stick to the rooftops. I don't want to get lost in the crowd, but we should be careful.
So, since the rest of you will be staying back with Jenya, it looks like you have sent Klaus and Balthar out to catch up to this individual, to find him.
We're staying with Jenya, but Jerrod has a plan.
I figured there was something more going on.
They'll contact us on walkie-talkie at some point. That's how
Not
this
that
works.
it really matters, but if Klaus is able to see the bow that I have in my hand, you guys seen the sting blade, right? Like the glowing blue design on it, or at least the etchings on it. That design essentially would kind of be like engraved into the bow that you're looking at, Klaus. It's like a light blue, yeah.
So now
I
we're
think
breaking
we
top
have
here.
we have a lot of bad experiences with people with bows on rooftops.
I mean,
they
you say a
tend to
lot.
shoot
It's really just like
civilians.
2 or 3.
That's a lot for most people.
In
But,
97
not most
sessions. Yeah.
We'll start following the crowd over to town hall.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Let's see here. As you guys are making your way over to town hall to discover the events that are unfolding. Let's see here. You guys manage to fly and or hop from rooftop to rooftop Batman style, where you are either spotted and completely neglected the thought of even making a mention of, or you're just not spotted because, well, you are the knight.
It's dark. Almost
Who's
like
there?
a Dark Knight.
Who's that? Who's who? Yeah.
It's a what?
Okay.
Like I was trying to explain before in my previous description, with the way that you hide in plain sight, when someone's like, what's he look like as he's hiding? Successful hiding. It's like, he's between 3 and 12 feet tall. Might
He
be
has a-
75 to 600 pounds. Maybe the most forgettable person you've ever seen in your life.
He has a skin tone.
His skin tone is on the visual spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah.
His skin is there.
Yes.
I think.
So he
it's there.
he comes off like any.
I think
on
he had
average
two
has
legs.
between- Yeah. He on
He had
average
two
has
legs
between
and
1 and 2 hands.
He look like a man.
Or I'm like Krunk from fucking Emperor's New Groove. That's what
Making your
All
way
right,
across rooftops and flying from building to building, you guys will eventually make it to your target around City Hall. You can see that the demonstration has begun very, very early on, and it seems to have hastened to the point of incredible disgust. The amount of energy here is vapid. The people are prepared to spill blood. There is not a single non-white-eyed citizen. This borderline looks like a ritualistic haka waiting to unfold into some terrifying amalgamation of blood and bodies. People are pissed. They are incredibly uncouth. They're very unhappy. Remember, one of their people were just hung because they couldn't pay their monthly living cost. Imagine how upset that would make you. So the streets around City Hall are packed tight with loud citizens rallying against the recent tax increase in Cauldron. Several guards stand in a ring around the building and use the halves of their halberds to keep people out. Presently, a small group of dignitaries, easily recognizable as the town's tax collectors, make their way to the entrance. The citizens boo and scream insults loudly. Loudly, mind you. As this happens, the tax collectors scuttle inside of the building, watching the just destructive force, just throwing gardening tools, various amounts of rotten fruit and vegetables, just heaving anything they can at them. And these guards, these very, very underpaid common guards, are doing their best to prevent this from happening. People are calling out, "Thieves! Murderers! Killers! Taxation is theft! This will not settle in Cauldron!" People are just losing their fucking minds. Like, it's spit and venom. What do you guys do?
I want to use my prescription check to look for the paladin of Sarn Right. I'm looking for Alec.
Sure. Let's play.
I have a prescription.
Let's play Where's Waldo?
So,
I was always real good at that game.
But nobody ever asked, how's Waldo?
29?
29. From the description of he has a mustache, you've narrowed it down to about 45
No,
people.
No, he already. That's already giving me the description.
Okay,
I don't know,
Balthar,
45 out of, like,
what's the
99
description?
is good.
Here he said, old
He's
man.
late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
His hair's starting to gray. He's got a mustache. He's pretty built, as far as I understand it, because he's a fucking paladin. But I mean,
And then,
that's just my best guess.
Given
He wears the
Emblem-
symbol of
emblem
Saren Ray,
Saren
which
Ray,
I would assume
that's-
not a whole lot of people are wearing.
given the descriptors that you have at this point, you can probably narrow it down to 4 or 5 people. Remember, the peasants aren't just all young people that are just these fucking whippersnappers. that are against things happening. And you can't really see any emblazoned symbols. I mean, people are wearing robes, they're wearing capes, they're basically wearing anything they can protect themselves.
All right, of the few people that I see off of the description, looks like they're trying to push back the people.
None of them. They don't appear to be pushing back. At this point, they're far enough away that they don't look like... They can't push in without shoving someone downward and hurting them further. And remember, it's not about hurting the common man. It's about hurting Big Brother.
Yeah.
So, from what you can tell, that they haven't fit that descriptor as of yet. I'm going to say that, Klaus, you're probably right next to Balthar with Yulgar circling overhead. You guys can talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
I can't see them.
I haven't been able to locate him either. I don't know where he would be if not in the crowd. I mean, you have to keep moving or he would be trampled.
Possibly in the hall already?
I can try to make my way in, but no guarantees.
I can probably sneak in. Is there like a chimney opening?
Into the mayor's?
Yeah, or like a top window that looks like it's open.
No, and there's no chimney, and yes, there are a few balconies, but each of them have shut doors, and each of them clearly have figures standing inside of those shut doors. You can see because they're glass paned, and there are armed half-orcs pacing.
Alrighty, I'll look back over to Klaus. We're gonna have to get in closer.
Agreed. How do you suggest we do so?
Let's see. Looking at how they're about it. Still sticking to the rooftops. I mean, we'll try to get as close to the city hall or the town hall as possible.
Okay.
So that way we're angled facing the audience, like the group of people, and then I'll try for another perception check to get a better vantage point off of that.
Can I get a perception, please, before you start making your move? Klaus and Balthar.
Ooh, that one. Could not see.
17.
Okay. Someone is breaking a swath through the crowd. Where he moves, you see people kind of sidling out of the way. As he steps through this particular individual, he seems to command presence, and he looks a little familiar to you, Klaus. You can't seem to immediately recall. Let's actually see if you can recall in the long term. Can you give me a wisdom, please?
Yes.
That's right, folks. It's James Woods.
Definitely not
James Woods.
Let's see if I have this correct. Yeah.
Make it Daniel Day-Lewis.
Uh, 15. Actually, you can recall. This is someone that you've met in recent past. He is a bit of an older gentleman, and the last that you had saw him, he was incredibly accusatory of your foul deeds and the misdoings of you in the Florian town, the way that you've handled things recently. He goes by Mavu. Can you recall Mavu?
Mavu is the one whose daughter died by the Umber Hulk, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mavu...
Yeah, he owns the trading post, right?
Yes, he does.
Whatever it's called.
Yes, he does. He is a middle-class man that is just on basically the edge of becoming higher class, becoming a noble of sorts. He's certainly got enough money to back his cause.
He really hates me.
As he moves through this swath of people, he seems to climb to a prominent dais to speak. And as the merchant raises his hands to the demonstrators, they begin to calm just a bit. This roar seems to grow to just a slight hum. The people wait as they see him climb up to this dais, and he throws his hands out. He clears his throat. Ahem! He explains that this will not be accepted. No longer in the town of Cauldron. The people have spoken, and we will accept this no more, Lord Mayor. We are here to issue challenge of control of Cauldron. And more so once over. We have right to nobility. Our very own Tercival, Paladin of St. Cuthbert, challenges Captain of the Town Guard, Tercion Skellerang, to prove his valor. What do you say? And a younger guard steps out by the name of Skylar. Skylar is someone that you guys have met in passing. He's kind of looked up to the Flurry multiple times through. And while he is still young, he's very brave. And as he slowly ambles out, nearest to Kiana, he says, Under what rule? What grounds do you have to state that Tercion has done anything? And why would Tercival, why would he challenge him? What is this about? And Mavu says something that the crowd was waiting to hear. A few moments pass, seconds which seem to slip by as an eternity before you hear Mavu's words ring out across the town. The old laws of peers. And the crowd goes wild. Klaus! Balthar.
Yes.
Give me, if you would please, a wisdom save. Or not a wisdom save, but basically a d20 plus your wisdom modifier. Attempting to recall this, or if you have a knowledge nobility, that could help you out here.
No nobility, so wisdom it is.
Okay.
Not great.
You are not familiar with this old law of peers. As he points out this challenge to the city council, yelling these anger and hate-filled words, the people grow ever more intense. The words of the fervor-filled merchant continue to imbue the citizens with mounting rage. Mounting rage. He continues before you can even remove your own train of thought in this situation. The people's anger culminates when Mavu points out the fact that a group of armed half-orcs is already harassing the town. Skellerang is feeding a band of filthy half-orc thugs a large share of our bread! He screams. Then, waiting in the crowd of people, a human watch sergeant, escorted by several half-orc mercenaries, approaches the dais to arrest the merchant. In the name of Tercion Skellerang, captain of the town guard, I must arrest you, he declares, addressing Mavu. Suddenly, from within the angered crowd, an unassuming youth draws a hidden dagger and screams out, Let's kill these half-orc brigands! As his voice is drowned out by the roar of 100 other people. The lad lunges. Go ahead. The lad lunges at the nearest half-orc. In seconds, the mob erupts into full-fledged riot.
Yeah. As soon as he charges, I'm gonna do it. So first shot is gonna be with a 2.
You actually give me perception, please. I need to see if you're gonna be able to pop this off, because you can hear him, but you cannot immediately see his blade. But with that, you do. You are gonna see this. There's just a singular glint off of the sun, and as this seems to erupt, he's declared some kind of hostile message outward, trying to encourage the people. So yeah, give me an attack, please.
24.
From this angle and from this current distance, you're able to pop off a singular shot, and as it catches him in the chest, the force seems to blow him down. He ragdolls immediately. This is the fact that your blade doesn't deal immediate lethal, it's all subdual, correct?
Correct.
Go for it, give me some damage.
So it's gonna be the D8. So this is for the arrow?
Yes.
First one. And then the second one that hits. And then the merciful damage on the first and the merciful damage on the second.
Okay. When your arrow connects with him, and you feel like you can visibly see that this figure seems to ragdoll. It seems to catch the cloak over his body, and as this cloak kind of falls down, it almost feels like it's pulling his body down. As it begins to tear it away from him, there, standing in this boy's spot, is no longer just a robed or hooded figure, but a member of the Last Laugh. As he dips lower and he seems to strike in under a half-orc, you see multiple stabs as his elbow is moving in increased pivot motion. Then multiple figures dash in and commence to stab all of the half-orc and men down. The singular tax collector that is with him, the guard captain that's with him at that particular point, not the town guard, not that captain, not Tercian, and then young Skylar himself.
Oh, he already got cut down. Like there's.
This
or
is
are they charged?
This is like dropping fresh meat into a piranha tank, where it's not just one man, it's multiple figures that are removing daggers, and the guard, they weren't prepared for this. They weren't expecting people to actually come
armed
in lethally and attack them. But they were prepared, and as this happens, Mavu begins to shake his head. You hear him try to yell out, "This is not what I had asked for! No, not like this!" You see him just like screaming out at the people, "No, stop!" And nobody is even doing it. It's mob mentality. They're fucking going wild. And as they begin to slowly just basically stab away at these men, the rest of the guards begin to back through. I need a perception from you, Klaus, since I know that Balthar is focused on this particular spot.
God damn. Not good.
Even or odd,
It
Klaus,
wasn't-
in your favor.
Yeah.
Even.
Odd.
Damn it.
You do not see it. I need initiative, please, from the two of you.
Okay.
20.
Just level the whole city. I'll keep Jenny and I inside so we don't see anything. Just kill them all.
Okay.
Is Kiana still out there?
Yeah, no, Kiana is actually... They backed up at this point.
Okay. Because I'm going to keep my focus on her, so if anyone tries to charge her, focus on that person. But yeah, I want to try to quell this craziness right now.
Okay. There we go. That's what I wanted to find. All right. Let's see what we have here. Horam is not here. Jerrod, you're not here. Balthar, what'd you get?
I got 15.
15, thank you. I got a 12. And Klaus, what'd you get?
13.
Thank you very much. Top of that initiative line. Balthar, you're first in initiative.
All right. What am I looking like? What am I looking at? Like, I know it's chaos and stuff going on, but
Give me a perception, please. A perception.
Yeah. It's going to be 19. 27.
27 is very good. As you begin to peer onward over this calamity that's happening and unfolding before you, you see that Sergeant Cruis himself, Skylar, before he was felled by this rallying group of peasants that seemed to be armed much further than they were initially prepared for, he is clutching a potion. It is a pale white potion that kind of glows. And this is something that your people are familiar with. You use particularly in hastened situations. You typically reduce yourselves to taking potions of sanctuary to remove yourselves from situations that are a bit too hostile. Sometimes nature just takes its course, and animals will be animals. And in this case, these people have degraded to animals, and Skylar attempted to remove himself with Potion of Sanctuary, but he wasn't able to. But also atop that, Mavu manages to cast shield on himself as he appears to be looking upward at the building. With your perception, you can also see that one of the balconies have blown open at the mayor's manor. And as this balcony blows open, a figure, a haphazard figure, shaped and tousled in nothing but wind and electricity, floats through the air, moving in the direction of Mavu himself.
Like, this guy looks like he's got intent to do some damage, right?
This guy doesn't look like a guy. It's not humanoid. It doesn't have seeming shape and or figure.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an elemental.
All right, well, I'll take some shots at it then, because we don't need an elemental getting into the mix of that. All right, so my first shot, 33.
Let's actually see if that's going to hit.
Gross.
The moment that you seem to pop your shot off, it seems like your arrow would have connected if there was any solid material whatsoever. However, your arrows soar directly through it.
Damn. Okay. I will look to Klaus then and say, I'm heading down to protect them, and I will take my move action and start making my way.
Okay. All right, seems good. As you begin to take your move action, you move 30 feet.
Yes.
You know that you are still about 90 feet away at this point from the mayor's front doors, but Kiana has since backed away, and the doors have slammed shut. All that remains are the limp bodies of the half-orcs that seem to remain upright, only courtesy of the mob itself.
If I see that the majority of the guards have moved inside, because they're trying to get into the mayor's office, right?
Yes.
That's the case. I'll stick rooftop side then, and I'll try to make my way into that exploded area.
Okay, sounds good. Is there a map? Negative. There is not a map, Crimsoneer. This is all theater of the mind, my friend.
Fucking intense theater.
Intense theater, yeah. Okay, Klaus, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna descend towards Mavu. I don't want to be right on top of him or anything, but just in his general vicinity, still above the crowd, and I'm going to cast
Fireball.
I cast Elemental Body 1, so I'll become a small air elemental.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see. What does that do for you?
It makes him Aang, the last airbender.
It doesn't do that, oddly enough. Hang on. Let me pull up the exact entry. Form you take is of that of a small air elemental. You gain a +2 size bonus to your dexterity and a +2 natural armor bonus. You also gain fly 60 feet perfect,
Nice.
dark vision 60 feet, and the ability to create a whirlwind.
Okay. Give me a perception, please. You were pointed out to the subject that is flying nearest Mavu, or at least in the direction of Mavu, but you didn't actually get a very good look at him. So please grant me a perception.
17.
That's not bad. It would be great if we could get you to roll a little higher, but I'll
Be
take
nice,
it.
yeah.
I will take it.
He's rolling better than I was.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I've got an image for you. Come on.
Gary Busey.
It's not.
No, it's Gary Busey Jr.
Okay, as this thing continues to fly to you, it seems to... The moment that you turn into an elemental, it seems to almost drop this electrical... this facade of sorts. It's almost like veil that seems to drape over the top of it. And as it kind of peels open, almost like it's tearing into your reality, you're now seeing something very different. It does, in fact, seem to have some kind of humanoid form. Come on. There it is in Twitch chat.
Oh Jesus, that's terrifying. What size is it? Just medium?
This is medium elemental.
Okay.
Medium elemental.
We got this.
Okay.
Whoop its ass, Klaus. Whoop its ass.
As it continues to move further to you, you have moved and you've cast a spell upon yourself.
Mhm.
All right. As it seems to move in on my turn, it moves much faster than you were prepared to see it actually do so. And as it moves up to Mavu, who was unprepared for this, Mavu seems to kind of like turn like he's going to try to move, and then at the last moment before he becomes an elemental, he sees you, and you see this disgust like pool over his face. Like he's not only has this gone into this intense madness, but now he's seeing the face of one of the people that he truly believes is the reason that his daughter died. That seems to be one of the motivating factors as to why he's doing what he's doing today. And here you are moving before him, becoming this elemental. And as you've turned into this elemental, it moves down with this abrupt quickness, like it almost flashes forward. And before you, are you standing between them, or what exactly are you doing here?
No, I'm kind of like hovering above Mavu, sort of. Not
Okay.
like on his level exactly.
Okay. Sure. As you have hovered over the top of him, you see that this creature has moved into melee combat range. And with the melee combat, he seems to... Let's see here. I need you to give me a fortitude save.
Okay. Oof.
You got this, man.
I know it's not your best save.
No, it's actually my worst. Oh, God.
That is not good.
Mm-mm.
That is not good.
No, one would argue that's possibly the worst that you can do.
I feel like
One
You
of those
say
luck-
one would argue, but I don't think
one of
there's
those
any
luck
argument.
rerolls would be real nice right about now.
do we
Just
got any
saying,
of those
chat.
Bubbernaut?
Just saying.
Well, let's see how close we are on our retweets. I don't think we're quite there. I could
don't
be
think we
totally
are
wrong.
either. But I'm gonna post a link again because maybe that'll push us over the edge. I don't know. We'll
No,
see.
Tick, they are not very different. We've got 13 retweets. If we got 7 more, or a new patron at this point would give everyone in the group a luck reroll. Pathfinder is essentially 3.5. It was just slightly modded.
That's why I like
let's
to call
see.
it 3.75. It's not quite 3.5, but it's just you turn the knob a little to the right, and you get Pathfinder.
But not too far, because then you get 4th edition.
Yeah, no one wants 4th edition. Stay away from 4th edition.
I'm trying to get you some stats right now. I know that you have failed, but I want to be able to give this a solid run because this is a Wizards of the Coast creature.
It's not going to be good for you.
If I can find out what fucking manual it's in, this won't be so bad.
What is it called?
It's called a breath,
Breath
drinker.
drinker.
Okay.
A breath taker?
Breath
Drinker.
drinker.
Oh, breath drinker. Oh, that's...
And of course, he's an air elemental.
See, I'm finding some AD&D stats. I'm even finding 5th edition stats.
I got one for Eberron.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I just found it. I got it. I got it, guys. Calm down. Calm down. Everybody just intensely calm down. Okay. You have managed to fail your save, sir. With this paralyzing gaze, when a creature that can see the Breath Drinker's eyes starts its turn within 30 feet of Breath Drinker, it forces it to make a Fortitude save. If the Breath Drinker is incapped and can see the creature, it becomes paralyzed for a minute.
Oh, for a full minute.
That's why
Fuck
I'm
me.
trying. That's why I'm trying to find a 3.5.
That's 10
not,
rounds.
That's not that bad. Yeah, that's fine, right? You take a nap for a bit.
Hey, you weren't planning to do anything anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. You're not flying right now, are you? Did you land? Are you flying right now, or did you land?
Yeah,
How
I mean, I
long
have
do you
fly.
get the elemental?
Well, I mean, if you
I
fly,
do
you
an
get
elemental
stunned.
for 9 minutes. 1 minute per level.
So you're gonna actually stop being an elemental while floating in midair.
That's what I'm like. That's dangerous.
It's not. I don't have to concentrate on being.
It doesn't. It
elemental.
doesn't have to. It's just got a time.
Okay.
What's up,
Yeah,
Snow
it's
Kitties?
like
What's
a
going on?
toggle.
Well, my thing of it is, once he stops being an elemental, he no longer has automatic fly.
No.
No, he casts fly upon himself.
Yeah.
It lasts for an hour, right?
It lasts for minutes equal to his caster level.
Mhm.
He should have it for at
So-
least 9 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's going to be. Oh, he's just paralyzed for 1 minute. Never
Yeah,
mind.
for 1
Yes.
minute.
For some odd reason, I thought it was 10 minutes.
No. God damn, that'd be insane.
Let's go with this.
100
Let's go with this. This is a little bit better. I need you to roll a d10, please.
Okay.
Watch him get a 10.
That's a lot better.
Not quite.
You're actually paralyzed for 3 rounds.
Oh, that's good. I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, this creature has air mastery. If you are airborne at any time fighting him, you must take a -1 on all attack and damage rolls against him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
to know.
so since he has moved in and he has paralyzed you with his fear gaze, you see that he is now focusing his attention entirely. Thank you very much, Draconics, for that follow, brother. I appreciate it. Welcome to the fam. He is focusing his attention entirely on Mavu. Mavu seems to be stuck as well. You can't tell if it's the effect. Let's see if he's going to get it. He probably will get it. Yes, he will. You can't tell if it's the effect of the creature or just out of just sheer fear, but he seems to be stuck. However, the Breath Drinker itself seems to move up and his arms wrap almost up and around Mavu. And you can see that he's starting to suck life away. Mavu just like stuck in a stare. His mouth moves agape. And you can see this, like, it's literally air escaping from the lungs of Mavu. And he seems to kind of shudder as this is happening. Top of the initiative line, Balthar.
All right, so I'm gonna command Yulgar to attack the fucking Breath Drinker.
Okay, because he's
I'll
airborne.
whistle, go.
Because he's airborne,
Yeah,
he gets a
-1.
-1 on attack and damage.
So this one is going to be. He's gonna attack him. So it's gonna be bite, which is 9. Let's see. 10's probably a miss.
It's a miss. I need you to give me a fortitude save for Yulgar, please.
Yulgar is 24.
Very good. Very good. You see Yulgar kind of like fall into a dipping spin action as he's managed to catch the stare, and for a brief moment you feel this horror fall over your owl and then yourself. You've been traveling with Yulgar for long enough to know that there's something more is going on. But now that he's made his attack, what do you do?
Well, he still has his 2 talons to strike with.
He has
a bite. Yeah, he has a bite and 2 talons.
But he had to fly down.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Then I will.
I mean, if you have him stay there, then he can stay there and fight next round. But
yeah, no, that's fine. So I'm gonna have him help Klaus, and I'm gonna continue into the main town hall, so that way I can see if he's okay. That, and also see if Tercion's in there. So I will make my way to the exploded door, or exploded window.
okay, that's going to require you to do some building hopping. So if you would please give me some acrobatics.
Problem. Oop, that's Yulgar stats, not mine. Mine is okay. 26.
Hey, Cam, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to the fam. Very good. You managed to leap across a building. Jesus Christ.
You're never ready for it.
Somebody just donated or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ah, I figured.
just a bunch of dudes.
It was, in fact, just a bunch of dudes. Thank you very much, Skeledude. Okay.